Welcome back to Kaulignation, your one-stop shop for all things Kaulig Racing, Dingernation, SVGNation, and more. I'm Sean, he's Ryan, and we're just trying to figure this thing out. It's been a little while since we've done this. I think the last time we did this was Coda. And I believe we were using different software then. So we're doing our best to get acclimated with what we're using now. And so we missed the start of the race just barely. If you're following along, yellow flags out for rain. Ryan was just saying how they should be letting the drivers figure this out. Don't throw the yellow, bring it back down pit lane. And I agree. If you think you can drive in a little bit of rain, that makes it more interesting. I get it. They don't want a bunch of cars wrecking early, but either you're ready to race in rain conditions or you're not. And still seems like they're approaching this with baby gloves, man. How you doing? And but before I hand it off, happy Father's Day to everybody out there. The father's still with us. The father's no longer with us. What every father does in the world is greatly appreciated. So happy Father's Day, and I hope you make the most of it. Ryan, how's it going, brother?
Pretty good. Hope you can hear me all right. I just got a note saying my microphone got disconnected, so we'll see how that plays out. But I'm doing good. Same for you. Happy Father's Day to you and every father out there. It's very cool that we're getting to race and do something fun. At least I consider this fun. So, but yeah, to the point, I'm very disappointed already with the caution. As I mentioned right before we came on, that this is the highest level of motorsport in North America. They need to not deal, they're not kids. Let them figure out what's best for them. If it's a little wet, if they want to try to run on the slicks, or if they want to try to go into the intermediates, I think that's part of the strategy. We see that in other forms of motorsport where it's up to the teams to decide when they're ready to make the switch. So, I really dislike this early caution. It just ruins the rhythm right out of the gate. We need to get settled in and try to get going here, because from what we heard from Mike Cook and everybody else around the organization, it looks like today's going to be one of those days where it's going to rain for a bit, not rain, rain for a bit, not rain. And I just don't want to see 50 cautions.
Yeah, Mike's been very good communicating with us. I wasn't expecting random replies from him last night, and then they weren't even directed to him. He follows us, and I think he appreciates what we do, and we appreciate him. Looks like they're all opting for rain tires. Give you an idea of what I'm doing in my setup is I got a laptop off to the side doing the race. Don't want to show too much because we'll get taken down. Turn it a little bit this way, I guess. And then I just found out, because Canadians got screwed for the in-car cams this year, we get 2 every race on TSN. And one of them just so happens to be our guy, AJ Allmendinger. So at least I can see his in-car cam on my phone while we do this thing. Big day for SVG and AJ. They have a chance to punch their way into the playoffs here with a win. I think we both know that the goal's probably, hey, if both guys, either one of them can snatch a win, then, no one's going to complain. But I think we know AJ can still continue to make progress if he gets stage points both stages and even gets a top 5, even a top 10. It'll be a solid day. Obviously, we want more than that. And SVG, judging by practice 2, he wasn't great. Practice 1, he actually had the best 5-lap average and still wasn't happy with the car, and then qualified on the pole yesterday. So big opportunity for SVG to punch his way into the playoffs. And, let's be real here. He needs to. He cannot point his way in. He's got to win, he would have to basically finish top 5 the rest of the way to point his way in, and that's not going to happen. So it's an exciting day. It's really coming down. I'm watching AJ's in-car cam now, and it's about to get dicey. So we're about to see who knows how to race in the rain and who doesn't. Yep. And as we saw last Chicago, I saw a lot of people commenting on our video last night, which is appreciated. We did a little qualifying update late. SVG can race in the rain. It's everybody else around you got to watch out for. And he was just going into, I don't know what turn it was. It might have been turn 1 in Chicago last year. and I think it was Briscoe or someone else just couldn't slow down and just completely took out the car. And that can easily happen here today to anybody. So it's, I would say controlled chaos, but there's nothing controlled about it.
That's for sure. Yeah, turn one here is going to be a real danger zone with these intermediates because I went there yesterday. The front straightaway was 3,400 feet, something along those lines. I mean, damn near a full mile in length. That's going to be a lot of braking into turn one that some of these drivers might underestimate how much grip they have and wheel hop or lose the car completely. And there's going to be some victims that are just there and in the way and get wiped out on without doing anything wrong. So it's definitely going to ramp up the fun, but also scary considering we have two drivers that really excel at this and we don't want their opportunities wasted because of somebody else.
We are back, I think. You got me? Clearly, we're going to have some technical issues as the day goes on here. So apologies for that. Not sure what's going on with the restream. Everything else is running fine. So I'm assuming it's a restream thing. But we intend to be here for the full race, even if you see us blip out. The number one way you can help us is obviously sending in a super chat and donating to the channel. It helps us out a lot with what we're doing. There should be a little $ icon if your comment doesn't get read naturally on screen and you really want it read or you have a question. Send in a super chat. But the completely free way you can help us out is just click the like button and comment away and share the stream. You can do all that stuff for absolutely free, and we really appreciate it. What time is it there right now in Mexico? 1?
Yes, they are 1:30. They're 2 hours.
It's hard to really ask them to start much earlier than that then, but I still feel like all the Cup Series races need to start a little bit early, other than when it's a night race. They all need to start a little bit earlier. And I'm not saying to avoid weather because it could have been raining from 8 a.m. on. I'd like the earlier starts like the old days.
It would be nice for sure, especially as an East Coaster. It really, just general, take its toll on me with the naturally later starts. I lived in the Midwest for a long time, and those 12 o'clock starts that I grew up with were wonderful. I really did like those. I tend to agree. I understand that this window is probably the best window for getting viewers to watch, but it really takes a lot of the day away from you. So I wish they started even an hour earlier would be nice, 2 o'clock, but I do miss those 1 o'clock days. By the way, I found it interesting that I don't know about stage 2, but stage 1 here is only 20 laps, which is the same length as the Xfinity race yesterday. So that's really short. I'm surprised it's and running these laps under caution are just really making it even worse.
Looks like they're going to double file restart, which in my opinion is the way it should be. I was getting tired of the single file restarts in the rain last year. Look, you're either racing in the rain or you're not. Fuck the single file restarts. If it's torrential downpour,
I think as long as it's this, yeah. That's what I think. So as long as it's just this lighter, I'm going to call it more than mist, they can do double file restarts. But if it's downpouring, raining really hard, I understand why they want to go single file.
Have they restarted for you
Are
yet?
these 2 liters? They're about to. They're about to. Pit car just pulled in.
Yeah, I'm already down into 1, so I gotta watch what I say.
So the 17 and the 2 are on slicks. Is that right?
I don't know. I'm having a hard time hearing because I don't want the audio to be too high. If the stream picks up our audio too much, we will get taken down.
Yeah, this is interesting. They're so slow.
Oh,
4 wide. How's this going to work?
teammates getting into it's not great this early. I'll let you see who.
Yeah, I see the Soras and or SVG. They're bumping it up, and where are we at? This is such a mess. It's such a cluster. Trying to figure out where everybody's running at, trying to get obviously some separation here. Ooh. The 5 cars all over the place. I do not like having
And the 2, you're right, are on slicks, and that is going to bite them in the ass soon. The rain's getting heavier. But the nice thing about
and the 2 car just pushed AJ super wide. I know it's only a lap, but it's amazing they all made it around without losing it.
lots of bumping and banging, but yeah, no spin outs or anything.
Yeah. And Ty Gibbs, Daniel Suarez, or Ross Chastain's in there somewhere. Good on AJ, by the way, just making the pass on the outside. Turn 1 there. That's not easy.
Yeah, but he had about had 3 cars in one turn, and it ended up being 4 wide, and someone hit his door. That might have been the one.
Oh, I said Suarez earlier. I apologize. It was
Yeah, it
Chastain
was
in the Wendy's
Chastain
car today.
SVG. Yeah.
Ooh. And I'm going to be making a lot of noises as I see these cars getting sideways as they try to accelerate. But they're doing all so far really clean job of.
I was just
not
watching
getting
them
in
go 4
trouble.
wide down the straightaway, and they were doing a really good job of it. Oh no! AJ just got smoked. Kyle Busch just took out like 3 or 4 cars, and AJ's one of them. We'll see if there's any damage.
And he's in the grass. This is exactly what we were talking about, right? This is exactly what we were talking about. You're doing nothing wrong.
Did they just say AJ's chain link's done?
And
because if it is, his race is over.
I can't tell. that a brake? What the hell is that?
Significant
He's just
damage on
way
the back
back.
of
Did
16.
he? Yeah, I saw the rear spoiler's been up pretty high. God damn it. This is my worst fear right out of the gate. Yeah,
Thanks,
that's
Sean.
a hard hit.
It's really appreciated, man. We appreciate, look, anyone who's willing to donate to the channel, spend their hard-earned money on what we do, we appreciate it. It's not cheap to do this sort of thing, especially when programs constantly raise their costs. But I'd have to look at what Kyle Busch is doing there. He looked like before he started braking, he drove that way too deep.
Yeah, I almost wonder if he had a brake failure, honestly. Just the way he may have wheel hopped that car, but honest to God, I think he may have broken a rotor or something.
That's essentially exactly what happened to SVG at Chicago. 100% what happened to SVG at Chicago. I'm going to try to figure out what's going on with AJ. I don't have a scanner on right now.
No, I don't either, but I got his in-car. Let's see what. I mean, his car is the rear end is clearly elevated. I don't know. It looks like he's going straight. I don't know if he broke the toe link. He's definitely got some cosmetic damage, and his spoiler's definitely been lifted significantly in the right rear. Larson's got a broken toe link for sure. Here, let me turn him up.
Just mute yourself when the scanner's on. We don't want to get hit with that. That's a paid thing. Sounds like they might have got lucky.
The issue is the deck lid. It looks like everything else is okay. There is splitter damage. I'm sure you're seeing that on the screen.
Doesn't look too bad, though.
Splitter is damaged. I mean, it doesn't look bad, but it's going to cut. I mean, it's yeah, his is going to lose all his downforce, though. He's going to have a shit day. Yeah, I'll talk about the one welcome relationship, huh? I'm not blaming Kyle Busch. I don't think it was obviously malicious in any way, but just incredible that that's where we stand here now, and just completely ruined the two drivers I thought from the stable that had a chance of actually having a really strong day. Obviously, there's still a lot of race left, but I mean, it just our entire day's been flipped on its head.
We need to see how the car runs. If it's still making speed, the splitter you can repair to some extent. If you don't break NASCAR's rules and go back and do what you did, what was it, 2 weekends ago now? But like they showed that replay, he's driving it way too deep before he hits the brakes. Like it's rain. Have you ever heard the old saying, "Oh man, nobody knows how to drive in the snow because everybody drives like it's a hot sunny day"? And it's like, no, you don't. So we'll see what happens, but like that's exactly what happened to SVG last year. The
only difference is he didn't get completely beached, which is a good thing.
Yeah, we'll see what he's capable of. This is not our last wreck today, and if it keeps raining, there's going to be plenty more of this. Watching him fly down the straightaway right now because he's trying to catch up. We'll see how it is under braking here. The SN wasn't kicking out on him under braking there, and he was flying down that straightaway at what would be race speed. Obviously, not lucky enough to have no damage, but lucky enough to, I think he's
We're not behind the wall, I guess. Yeah, I mean, this is not ideal start. I mean, he worked his way up to 7th. You know, now he's back in 32nd. Even if the damage is minimal,
he's actually 6th when he got taken out.
So we'll see. I mean, there's 10 to go in the stage. Obviously, they've got damage. Nobody needs really tires now because they're all on the intermediates. I'm curious. But he does seem to be moving okay. I hope, Sean. I hope we slice and dice.
We're going to have some of those issues today. I don't know what's going on with Restream.
He was not able to get fully caught up to the field, which is
no, that's fine. No, that's fine. At this point, you're using stages 1 and 2 to stay on the lead lap and repair the car, and hope you can do something in stage 3.
Well, SVG back to the lead. Ty Gibbs, though, fighting back. It's going to be an interesting battle here.
Ty Gibbs probably had the best car yesterday. And
he's a good road racer.
Yeah, that too. I'm watching AJ, until I look at some lap times, which is really hard to do because they already got 3 devices on the go. Like, he is much, much faster than the cars at the back of the field. Even with the damage.
Yeah, well, I mean, Catherine Legg is not exactly challenging, but you're right. Past one car. 30 to go.
Just how fast he's catching the
still
cars.
Still a great battle. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a lot of confidence in the weather too, right? Like, in normal racing conditions, being this damaged probably is a complete destroyer. But in these racing conditions with the wet weather, just his pure confidence and the braking and doing the things that he does well will definitely benefit him. Oops, some bear bond just came off somebody.
SVG out to a 1.7 second lead.
Yeah, now that he's cleared Gibbs, I think he's going to check out here. Also, how the hell did Ty Dillon get up to 7th? I mean, I know there's been a lot of chaos here early, but that's kind of out of nowhere.
I wonder if I can pull up NASCAR here. Sorry, I know we were having some connection issues. I just want to see who sent the super chat in again, so I can. It was Sean that sent in the super chat. It's really, really appreciated, man. Means a lot.
It really does, Sean. Thank you very much. Also, we just passed Chris Buescher with a damaged car. That is shocking.
AJ's already back up to P25. And what's even more shocking is while being in traffic, wait for this one. P7 lap times. That's impressive. So the day's not over yet, but
That
you
is
need to
impressive.
protect the car the rest of the way. Not that he could have done anything to avoid that. That's like getting blindsided in football or hockey. Like you just don't see it coming and boom.
Well, I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, I don't want to call myself a prophet, but that is literally what I said right when we came on the air is that, in these conditions, you can be minding your own business and somebody just barrel rolls you, do nothing wrong. But
now I'm not saying AJ is going to be running P5 to P7 lap times in the dry because we just don't know, but he clearly has way more confidence than a lot of these guys in the rain.
No, exactly. I think that's why we're seeing SVG so comfortably start to pull away here. Obviously, AJ's been AJ here is very comfortable with his braking and when to be aggressive. And one thing I've always loved about AJ in particular and watching his in-car here, the angles he takes, the way he attacks each of the corners is just so superior to the vast majority of the competition. It's incredible.
AJ and SVG are really sometimes McDowell, you see it a little bit, and Kyle Larson to an extent, but AJ and SVG seem to have different entry points, much wider entry points to the corners than a lot of these guys take.
That's what you learn growing. And when you grow up doing road courses, it's all about your ability to maximize mid-corner speed and exit. And that usually means being a little bit wider on entry. And some of these cup drivers just haven't quite mastered the braking technique required to do that efficiently.
Last time by P4 lap time.
That's great. Yeah, he's in a cluster of traffic here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's running P4 lap times while in traffic. SVG's running the fastest. Surprise, surprise. I do kind of wonder, and I mean, this could hurt with Tech Inspect later. Do you remember the race that he won in Nashville where they got the damage on the deck lid?
Oh, yeah.
And for some reason, it created way more speed. And he just blew away the rest of the field on the last few laps. I wonder if there's a little bit of that in play here. Because, he's all over William Byron. Byron can barely keep him behind him.
He actually had Byron passed and went a little wide there and gave it back, which is unfortunate. But wow. Now the question, I guess, as Van Gisbergen continues to pull away here, I'm sure he's going to flip the stage. And the question is, with the lead that he's already built, he's probably still going to get stage points.
Right now, he's running almost 1 second quicker than anyone else on
I
the
wouldn't
track.
be surprised.
I mean, there's impressive, and then there's that level of impressive. Yeah, that 16 car's not out of this thing yet. I don't think it has SVG lap times in it, but
somebody's.
AJ's plus 10 since the restart. SVG still knocking off 110 lap times since the restart. That's when you're doing that consistently and in the rain, that's
crazy. I think, and also these, I mean, it's still wet out there. I think that's the, he just about to get two of them here. He just passed Bowman and Kozlowski in one corner. But even with these intermediates, Sean, I think that's the biggest thing, that as this track does start to dry, these intermediates are going to really start to fall apart, and you're going to see the core, right? They're going to grain, and it's really hard to maintain good lap time. So the fact that he's still chugging off these laps is so impressive. All right. P21 for AJ.
It's still raining a bit, but not as much as it was earlier.
No. 2/10 faster than Ty. Second, 1.1 seconds faster than Priest. Christ, he's flying. Absolutely flying.
Yeah, 109, 188 last time by for SVG. That's crazy. Closest guy to him that last time by was
probably Ty Gibbs there.
Yeah, 109, 468.
Tell you what, another guy that's moving up pretty quickly. I'm just kind of watching AJ, obviously. It would be Joey Logano. He's marching forward as well. And I'm not sure if Joey was involved in that first wreck or not. I just heard Trent warn AJ about smoking the tires on a dry track.
That track ain't dry yet, though. Far from it. You can tell.
Yeah, they're telling him to start look for water. He just said holes, but puddles. Yeah, I'm curious. I'm very curious. Where we at? We're 5 to go, 4 to go now. I mean, people that want to start short pitting, we're going to start seeing cars come down pit road here.
All the cars are getting a little
sooner than later, probably in the next lap.
The cars are getting a little bit quicker, so people are getting a little more confident in the track. But that sky by no means looks like there's going to be no more rain. I think we're going to be dealing with this all race.
And I hope we do. That really is going to amplify the the story.
I'm curious to see what the car has though in the dry. Like clearly, still a top 5, top 10 car in the rain. Another question whether it can be that in the dry. I'm sure there's more work to do on the splitter. It's the left side of the splitter that's damaged too, isn't it? Because I'm noticing on the exit of the left-hand turns, he's having a little bit of issues.
A little wide. Yeah, it was hard to say. I only saw it for a split second there on the feed. It looked almost central, like it was almost center mass, maybe slightly off to the left. But you're right, especially it does look like he's a little tight in those lefties. And he's staying with Logano, but it definitely appears Logano is a bit better than he is right now. Well, here we go. The first car down pit road.
AJ and Joey were P2, P3 that time on lap time. You can figure out who was faster.
That makes sense.
Mr. The Tasmanian Devil himself. It's going to be tough for him, though. He's going to flip this stage. I'd be shocked if he doesn't flip the stage.
If
he
needs
does,
to.
Gonna be.
I mean, he's got 7-second lead on second.
I do wonder. It depends on how much work they feel needs to be done. The 16, knowing they can't get stage points for stage now, they might flip stage 1.
I would absolutely at this point. I would 100% pit right here, top off the tank with fuel. Because I don't know if they'll be changing tires or not, but interesting.
Nope.
Oh, Austin Cindric? Are they showing Austin Cindric on slicks? I think they're considering putting on slicks here, Sean. Not necessarily
Logano
AJ,
is.
but
I'm watching him do it right now.
yeah, I'm wondering now from a strategy standpoint here, if you aren't pitting now to put on slicks, because a good chunk of these cars are, do you choose to stay out at the stage break anyway and not come into pit, knowing that you'll probably eventually have to go to slicks, but try to build a little track position and gap the field before you do it?
I don't know, but the 16's not pitting. They're staying out.
Yeah, they made their bed. They had to do it. I don't think they could have pit even if they wanted to, even with SVG coming down pit road.
AJ Allmendinger, P1 last time by on lap times. Obviously, SVG was on pit road.
And that's with tires on car. Yeah, that helps. But that is with cars on slicks, by the way. And he's still running P1 lap times. Oh, my God. I just saw a side of AJ's car. It looks like a freaking parachute.
Yeah, he ran a 106.270. Stenhouse this time by has gotten quicker, 105.987. I don't know if he's on slicks or I wish there was an indicator that let you know. I figured that'd be a no-brainer.
Yeah, that's the one I would like to see that adjustment made here. Coming down, what do we got? 2 to go?
I don't know. AJ's got a shot at stage points here. That car is very stable under braking considering the damage. Like, there's no back wheel hop at all in that thing right now. If I were them, I don't know if I want to touch the deck lid at this point.
Yeah, the thing that's really going to kill him is down the front stretch. That's just. I think this honestly, it's going to help his downforce significantly through the corners. I think we've already seen that, but he's going to get absolutely torched down the straightaways. And we already know our ECR engines aren't exactly the most powerful beasts under the hood. So,
did you watch that Ty Norris clip I sent you? I
did
every second of it.
It's got his guys back, man. That's what it's all about.
I appreciate that. It'd be really easy to go, well, we shouldn't be talking that way about one welcome teammate or RCR or ECR. He literally said, if you feel, that strongly about it, you stick to it. I wish AJ had a little more support like that earlier in his career. Obviously, he probably hadn't earned that kind of leeway at that point.
Yeah. It's a good question, Tori, about the rubber. I would say it's a different compound tire. So, yes, it would lay down a different type of rubber. But at this point, with the track being still as kind of wet as it is, I don't think any rubber is being laid down yet.
Yeah, it's really hard to lay down in the rain.
Yeah, so I don't foresee it being an issue because I think a lot of teams are going to be on slicks before it matters. But it is certainly something that would have an effect.
You know what the beginning of this race reminds me of? And I don't know if it was Kyle Busch in that race or not, but there was a Watkins Glen race a few years back, AJ in the purple, yellow, and white Action Industries car in the rain, and he got taken out in turn 1 by someone who clipped him, went around, kept it off the wall, and what did that come down to at the end of the race? Kyle Larson and AJ Allmendinger racing for the win. And that was a Cup Series race, too, not an Xfinity race.
You know what? I didn't actually get to watch that race. I was at a show at Fenway Park in downtown Boston, but I remember watching it on my phone thinking he's got a chance. But I do know which race you're talking about there.
AJ had a P2
so this didn't,
P3. Only 2 guys faster were the guys that are 1 and 2, Preece and Blaney.
So this is an interesting. I think this strategy's failed us here because we didn't get points, and we still have to pit. So we're going to lose track position unless they choose to stay out.
I don't see them staying out because they're on rain tires and the track. I mean, clearly, you can tell from that shot. I don't know if you have his in-car cam up anywhere, but like it's weird because half the track looks like it's going to pour, and the other half of the track looks like it's clearing up. And that is possible with how big these tracks are. You could get rain in some and no rain in another, and then you have a whole other problem. But I tend to agree. But my guess is they think they're going to do more work on that car and have him stuck on pit lane for a while, and they just figured ride it out. My guess is they're worried about the same thing you were, the splitter. And I don't even know what changes you can make to the splitter during the race. Obviously, we seen what happened practicing the qualifying a couple weeks back, but
they won't punish you. Now that the car's been damaged, that effectively goes out the window. So they're not going to, even if he gets post-race inspected, he could have incorrect heights there and it's fine. The only thing they can really do, though, is take a sledgehammer to it.
Yeah, try to get it as straight as you can and a little lower to the ground.
Yep. And maybe these splitters are pretty damn tough, to be honest.
Before you take a sledgehammer to it, though. You ever swing one of those things?
Yeah, a few times.
We were doing a filming project a couple years ago, and I'd never swung a sledgehammer in my life, and this is pre-heart attack, so it was far stronger with my upper body, and like I'm picking it up, I'm just like, holy shit, this thing is mega heavy.
Yeah, you don't even have to swing it that hard for it to lay a real punch. Oh, is Chase Briscoe a lap down? Missed that memo.
Yeah, he didn't start that way, so something happened because he was ahead of AJ on the restart. Yeah, AJ went from.
Oh, he's got a little flare out too. There.
21 spots gained there for AJ. And obviously a dominating stage by SVG. A lot of racing to go. Obviously, if SVG wins, it makes AJ's point battle a little harder, but I've had it penciled in the entire year that he's going to win one of those road courses in the regular season. So when I've been looking at the points, I've always been looking at it, assuming SVG's winning one of those races. Strong stretch of races coming up here for AJ too. Other than Pocono, you got places, Vegas, I don't know. Or sorry, not Vegas. Atlanta, I don't know about it. They've been good there in the new setup, but I don't know what happened earlier this year. But obviously we got Sonoma, we got Chicago, we got Dover. I think St. Louis isn't far from now.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how these next couple road courses kind of pan out. Obviously, you want to win them all. I'm curious though if SVG gets one. Let's say SVG wins here this weekend. What their strategy would look like going forward to the next couple. If they would try to get maybe win a few stages, try to get some points that way, or if they just try to get some wins and continue to push. But if SVG wins early, I could see them potentially changing their strategy, which maybe helps AJ try to win one here in a few weeks. Well, they're definitely working on the car.
Yeah, I'm watching the NASCAR official watch.
Right sides are. Yeah, I missed what the what they were planning on doing, so I'm not sure what changes they're making. They don't seem to be in much of a hurry. Can't really tell. Whatever it is, they got to be working on the right rear because there is no activity on the front.
It must not be that concerned with the splitter. Yeah, AJ poster would be nice on the wall somewhere, but that would require Kaulig Racing to, ship to Canada. But we got a little bit of graphic skills. Maybe we can make one and have it printed.
Interesting. I did not see them change lefts. Maybe I'm just losing my mind, and they started on the lefts and went to the rights. But
Well,
he's
they would
back out
start on
there.
the lefts and move to the rights at this track.
Yeah, Sean, I don't know if you remember the interaction on X from earlier in the week, but you remember I saw your comments on somebody having that Celsius race shirt, that team shirt. Yeah, I bought that. I just clicked on the link and bought the shirt. So
yeah, I would
showed up the other day.
Till they start considering Canadian fans as legitimate fans. I guess we don't have that option, which is quite bullshit. But also a reminder, we're going to have Kaulig Racing technical director in for an interview this week, Mike Cook, on Wednesday. My guess is the first one of those interviews will go out on Thursday. I think we're going to split it into 3 or 4 videos. So even if you're not the biggest AJ or Kaulig fan and you're someone on the SVG side of things, if you want to understand more about the ins and outs of NASCAR and how it works and how the prep goes and what's involved with the Cup Series, those are interviews that you are not going to want to miss. Jade, if you're watching this, I can't check that. I have no ability to check that. I got no more windows free. What's the last thing I said that came across? I just realized I'm muted.
Something about poster in the wall.
Oh, geez.
Not having wall space.
Yeah, so SVG is going to restart 5th, it looks like, and not 1st. So maybe it was a slow stop. And they just said
couple cars.
He told them that he doesn't like racing in the rain. So as good as he might be in it, he's not a fan of it. Another crazy restart here. I actually don't mind.
Yep.
Where's
so
AJ
we got
restart?
first 4 cars. 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
You know what? That's probably a good thing because I think all hell is still going to break loose here.
Yeah.
Very damp track still, and not a whole lot of heat in the tires here as we get going.
No, I definitely see at least one car going for a spin, probably a couple here. And now Steve Letard just said rain 20 minutes away, so We might get halfway through this stage here, and it starts raining again.
Starting to feel like an F1 race.
No kidding.
And you know how much success you and I have racing in the rain on that fucking game.
I mean, I can't keep it straight in the dry, so.
You called it.
There's one. All right, let's see. This corner is just so tight. Oh, Noah Gregson. What a surprise. I really am disappointed that that they don't have some way of delineating what tire the drivers are on out there on the graphic.
SVG
Because
just
it
got
really
back at
is.
Suarez.
Does Suarez have slicks? Ooh, Ryan Truex is all over the fucking place.
Yeah, AJ just completed a pass on him. I think that was Truex. Purple car, right?
That was Truex. Purple car. That was Truex.
Yeah, and he just passed. Bubba Wallace clearly with more straightaway speed
Bubba.
than AJ. Both Toyotas with more straightaway speed with AJ. So you are right. The straightaway speed has hurt a bit. SVG to P2. And we got another spinner. I won't say who.
I just whoever it was white car. Is that going to be Ty?
It's John Hunter.
John Hunter. That's yeah. I would say being on slicks is actually probably going to slow AJ's progression forward a little bit, just because he can't be quite as aggressive outside of the racing line. Yeah, because he can't even get around Bubba right now.
Yeah, he had a bad exit. He had a bad exit on the turn you don't want a bad exit on, the final turn. And it's hurting him all the way down the straightaway. Still up to P26, though. He's up 6 spots. 2 of them, obviously, by attrition.
Well, he drove it in so much deeper. That's insane. Like he just passed Eric Jones and did it from about 6 or 7 car lengths back. That's a hell of an outbreaking there. His brakes are working. We'll give him that. Let's see.
I think he's trying to
Yeah, the cars that are on
judging by the
there.
way he's exiting these turns, just trying to keep the car straight and not turning it as soon as the exit of the turn happens. Nothing really wrong with that. Oh, row.
Oh no, not Todd Gilligan Island.
For some reason, I thought that was McDowell. Obviously, that used to be his car, but old habits.
Yep, what happened here? Little Ryan Preece being a wrecking ball. That's not surprising.
AJ was still P6 lap time that time by, so that car has speed. Or he does anyway.
He definitely does.
Almost looks like he needs to be freed up a bit. SVG.
I mean, he's so far back in the soup, you know.
SVG's not really closing the gap on Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs has been 1.6 for a bit. And do I think SVG is a better road racer than Ty Gibbs? Absolutely. It's a no-brainer. Ty Gibbs is really good. Here's what SVG has working against him. That Gibbs equipment. Ty Gibbs is going to always have more going down the straightaways than SVG does. And the 71 clearly still had rain tires on. He's switching to slicks.
Yep. There's going to be a free few spots there for those guys.
Suarez.
I think there's 4 of them. Yeah, Suarez too. That's what I thought. I had a feeling Suarez was still on the rain tires.
Morning, John. Welcome to the stream, buddy. It's been an eventful race so far. This whole pack of cars in front of him is holding AJ up. He's clearly much faster than they are.
Yeah. Yeah, was there 2 and 3 wide here? Like he just kind of has no place to go. Ooh. Although, let me tell you, Josh Berry almost ended his day and may have taken AJ with him there.
You seen him clip that, huh?
Because he damn near drove it into the tire bed.
Yeah. He got it a bit, yeah. That could have been bad.
You know, look who's directly in front of AJ right here. That is Tyler Reddick.
Yeah.
On pace, just kind of meddling around in 20th, 18th, 19th position. Can I just say that is incredibly shocking? He is one of, if not in my mind, the best road racers in Cup consistently, and he has not had a good weekend at all. Like that team has just completely missed it.
AJ should spend less time teaching guys road course craft. Reddick was one of his protege guys that RCR had worked with him. Chris Buescher when he was in JTG, Chastain with Kaulig, all those guys, pretty good road course racers in Cup now.
Yep.
Ty Gibbs is actually extending his lead on SVG now up to 2 seconds. I'm going to go ahead.
Yeah, they made a good adjustment here.
Ty Gibbs has the better car right now.
But it's also early, right? We're lap 30, 100, so with 30%.
Oh, you know what's going to happen if we
just taking care of your equipment.
We get restarts late, and it's going to be restart after restart after restart after restart. That's what happens on the road courses if it doesn't, run for a while. AJ almost did what Josh Berry did.
Shane is saying tight and no rear grip. That's a bad combination. Well, the 45 and the 21 screwing around with each other just helped AJ get a pretty simple pass there.
Yeah, Barry had a bad exit in that last turn, and yet still has more straightaway speed than AJ. That goes to show you that he's being pushed. Never mind. So, bye, Bubba.
Penske power for sure. Got him. There we go. Wasn't easy, but we got it done. Yeah, this is going to be the biggest issue for us here. We can beat him everywhere else around the racetrack, but he's going to get absolutely destroyed down that massively long front straight.
Morning, Charles. Or sorry, afternoon. What race did they take away for this race? I'm trying to think of what race was removed from the schedule for this.
I think it was Richmond. I think Richmond lost its date for this.
No offense, Charles. Richmond does not deserve 2 races anymore. Those cars race fucking awful there. The option tire has made it a little better, but yeah, the cars have been really bad there. Which is unfortunate because when I was a kid, I loved Richmond. I remember watching, the Burtons fly around there, and it was entertaining.
Oh, caution on the speedway.
Do we know what for?
No, I'm watching it on AJ's cam. The TV hasn't caught up yet.
Truex.
Oh, Ryan Truex.
I don't know if
that's good. I was just looking at he was sideways on the road. I understand why they threw it.
He looked like he was off.
Can't be sideways in the racing path. But I was just about to say, this is actually really good because I was looking at how far back AJ was, 28 seconds behind the lead. That's why they threw the yellow. He's on the racing line there. You have to throw the yellow. So, well, now this makes things interesting, right? We're halfway through stage 2. Does it make sense to try to pit here? Probably not. I think a lot of cars are probably going to stay out.
I'd pit.
Yeah, but still not within your window to make it on one more stop.
So how long is the last stage? 65 laps?
55.
That's still quite a long last stage for I don't know if I like where they put those brakes. 45 laps combined in the first 2 and then 55 in the final.
Yep. That's why I made the comment. I was surprised this first stage was only 20, which was the same as yesterday's race. I really figured they go 25, 25, 50 or something. Or 30, 30, 40. Nice, Charles. Walt Disney World is great.
Yeah, they tried no brakes, Tori. That doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, I like the stages, honestly, Brock. I think it's really good for the sport.
That's I don't know
Like-
how many of the people in the live chat were watching NASCAR before stage breaks, but let me tell you, before stage breaks, I'm not just talking road courses, I'm talking the whole friggin' the whole schedule. You're looking at significantly less entertainment value. You just are. And as much as we want to say it's about racecraft, it's about who's fastest, these guys need to make money. The new point system, racing for points at the end of each stage, has really increased the entertainment value and the on-track interest, to be honest.
Yeah. And frankly, these races are long. So, I think, if you race top 5 all day long and then get wiped out in a late race restart and finish 30th without stage breaks, and it doesn't, to me, you're not getting a result based off of your performance throughout the course of the day. So I do like the stage breaks. I can understand not liking the yellows during the stages, but I like the stages. But I also like the cautions and bunching everybody back up because I am a hillbilly American that likes wrecks. So rack them and stack them.
Like, comment, and subscribe, everyone. Helps us out a bunch. The engagement helps us out too. It's been a good race so far. Right now, looks like Ty Gibbs has the best car, but we'll see if SVG can battle back. Ryan, let me know if my fan's being picked up in the background. I'm going to stay quiet for a second.
No, I don't think so.
No? All right, good. Much cooler in here with the fan on.
The only thing I'm picking up is some slight in-car camera, or it's like just the engine noise. Not sure if that's your feed or my feed, but
no, it's probably mine. I got AJ in front of me. No extra work done on the car this time. Just a quick pit for 4 tires.
Yep, in and out. Second car off, right behind Ryan Preece. I think we gained a spot there. Could be wrong. Interesting. They just captured a bit of his in-car talking about needing to know what spot he is on the restarts. I will say that was an interesting topic point during Friday's practice, Sean, was how quickly the tires were wearing. And a lot of the drivers were saying by like lap 6, lap 7, the tires really fell off. So I'm curious to see, now that they've ran, I guess, 10 or so laps under this run, if these fresh tires will make a significant difference or not.
My leaderboard must not be updating properly. AJ, is AJ P15 even after pitting?
No, it needs a lap to cycle through. That's how it works. That's how this works. It needs one lap to cycle. So it's just where they crossed the start-finish line the previous lap.
24th.
That's not bad. He only lost. He went from 18th to 24th. That's okay.
Not a good.
Tell you what, Christopher Bell up to third. He started 32nd. I am rooting if AJ can't win this race, and no offense to all of our SVG followers here, I am rooting for Christopher Bell to win this race. Simply because no new winners is a good thing. Because right now, the front row of Ty Gibbs, SVG, neither one of them have won yet this year. Obviously, that locks you into the playoffs. And anybody racing the cut line gets a lot harder to do.
See, where Keselowski you're about to see it, where he cuts across there. I seen way too many times in the Xfinity Series race yesterday where cars were cutting across there and not really being forced, and nothing was being done about it. I don't like that. That should be a stop and go.
Let's see. I mean, he didn't gain anything, though. Like, to me, there's no position gain, no harm, no foul.
Track limits are track limits.
That's just personal than that. NASCAR has no track limits, though. I know they pretend to have track limits, but NASCAR has never had track limits.
Tell that to AJ and SVG last year at COTA.
As I said, they pretend to have track limits, but all things being equal, they do not. Man, AJ just gets absolutely torched down the front straights.
Yeah, he had a bad exit on that last turn again, too. Usually he's not quite that bad, but that was bad.
Yeah, I don't know what adjustments they made, but I don't know if they're working. No, Tori, you're right. The ECR engines definitely lack some power down the front straight versus the Fords and the Toyotas, and even obviously the Hendrick Chevys have some real speed. The ECRs are probably the worst engines in the bunch.
Yeah, AJ's going backwards here. I don't know what's going on. Fresh tires should be going forwards, and it's not. He's going the opposite way.
Yeah, they made a bad adjustment. He looks way too loose now. He's wicked loose. Yeah, he is absolutely buzzing his tires off the corners right now.
SVG's staying with Ty a little better this time.
Yeah, within a second, 0.83.
I was feeling pretty confident, but that's quickly evaporated.
Yeah, whatever change they made there on that stop is the wrong one. He has no traction out of the corners now, and that was where he was absolutely gaining there after the wreck initially. Yeah, I would agree with that, Tori. Unless something changes, obviously there's still 460 laps to go here. I think the 54 set himself apart from the rest of the field at this point. Obviously, SVG's right there, less than a second. One mistake and he's in the leader of the lead. Track position means honestly more in a lot of cases. You can defend pretty well. So certainly not far enough off to be worried about it with this many laps left. Ooh, issue with the 43.
SVG is closing the gap on Ty a bit. AJ's made it back up to where he restarted.
Yeah, he looks like he's a little bit more comfortable now.
Well, typically, when your car starts too loose, you want it to build tight. That doesn't always happen. Sometimes it goes the other way, and you're in a lot of trouble. But looks like Logano's looking for the pass here. Just bumped AJ.
Yeah, Logano's got
momentum.
a good car. Yeah, honest to God, if Logano can get himself to the front, he's got a car that's good enough to win this thing. Honestly, I mean, I feel the same way about AJ too, to an extent, but
much better.
No fault in losing spots at 22.
For AJ, stayed with the 22, and the 22 was in the 21's draft, and AJ had no draft. So that's encouraging a little bit, but it's going to need track position at some point. I wonder if he stays out at the end of the stage.
Tied. Ooh, 22 with a lock up there. Oh, who just beat us into Ty? Was that fucking Chase Elliott? Just drove it into the side of Ty, who's having a great day, by the way. Need to give Ty Dillon some freaking flowers here. He's been inside the top 10 from pretty much the start of this race.
Did he spin him out?
But Chase Elliott just drove to the side of him. Used 8 tires, are better than 4 through the corner. Yeah, I'm starting to regret this decision to pit for AJ. I didn't, they were running 18th there before that decision, and going forward, now they've just flatlined here in 25th.
Ty's pulled away a little bit the last couple laps, almost a 1 second lead now. SVG had it down to about half a second.
Yeah, I think may have been cooling his tires a little bit.
That's just reckless by Chase Elliott. He deserves a shot back. There's not even an attempt to avoid him there. Fucking entitled Hendrick snob.
I don't even know what the 9 was trying to do there. It's like you wasn't paying attention and missed the corner. And just drove it into the side of Ty. It was really weird. Wow. How many left? 4? Yeah, 4 to go.
Yeah, running about P14, P15 lap times. So something on fresher tires too. Something has gone awry.
I think a combination of the track actually drying. I really do think AJ had the advantage on the wet surface, a little slick. Helped even out the car a little bit. Now that the track is dry, or pretty much dry at this point, that the damage is starting to show itself a bit more.
SVG's closed the gap to about half a second again.
Yeah, he's right there. There's curious to just see if they actually, they're staying up this lap. I'm guessing they both pit next lap. I will say this is definitely a good sign for SVG as we go into the third stage, that if his car is in fact better on the long run, then that's going to pay dividends and should really help him towards the end of the race.
SVG's continuing to close the gap on Ty.
Yeah, he's right there. He is absolutely right there.
I don't like
SVG staying out. Thank you, Lynn.
That's not a good call, in my opinion. Not for what it was.
I just heard Steve Letarte say rain is coming.
Didn't they say that like friggin' 40 minutes ago and it's supposed to be here in 20? The sky looks more clear than it's been since the beginning of the race, in my opinion.
Well, my assumption here is they feel rain is coming and there's no reason to pit now. Stay out. And if the rain comes, they all have to pit. And that's the move.
Well, SVG is going to win stage 2, but oh boy, this could be a race costing move. We'll see. It could be a race winning move, but right now I don't like the call.
And Dale Jr. just said it on the broadcast that drivers that won stage 2 of a road course have only won 2 times in the next gen or in the stage break era. So you're definitely putting yourself at a massive, massive disadvantage by doing this, unless the rains come. That's what you're banking on right here, is the rains coming and everybody needing to pit to put on the intermediates. Also, just want to touch base on the car. It looks gorgeous. I love that purple design of the safety culture. Kind of gets blown to bits with the yellow Red Bull bit, but I like I really like that design in general. It looks really good. Going to look really good if he wins this and they have a race win diecast.
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, look at them through the stadium section, though. That's the clearest this look all day. So, like, I don't know. Maybe rain's coming, but if it's not, this just really hurt SVG. What I want to know is if AJ was saving his tires on that run. Because if he was,
it's possible.
They very well might.
Well, I have to say, this has been again, when you get wrecked out on lap 6 and it just completely destroys your concept of a day, not getting any stage points is just crushing as an AJ fan here. I know there's very little he could do about it, but this was the day I was really banking on 17, 18 stage points, possible top 5 finish overall, even if SVG wins this race. That would have been that's okay. You can live with that.
Unless AJ steals a win here, there's no other way to cut it. This is a disastrous race. Not his fault, obviously, with the Kyle Busch thing happened. It's exactly what happened to SVG at Chicago, but this, I'd have to look at the points, but, he's got a bunch of good tracks. We're probably not in must-win territory, but we're getting close to it.
Well, Kyle Busch finishing dead last helps. But other competitors like Ryan Preece and Michael McDowell. Who else here? Busher finished decent. Super frustrating there.
AJ's apparently going to pit too, so I really don't get that end of stage 1 call.
I don't get the end of stage 1 call. I don't get the middle of stage 2 call to pit. If you're going to pit here, why the hell did you pit halfway through the stage? Like, I don't understand.
It's almost like they took themselves out of it.
Listen, I love the chemistry that AJ and Trent have. They've obviously got a way of finding speed. They've shown that throughout the course of the year. But Trent Owens does not seem to make good in-race strategy calls. I feel like he's hurt our position more often than he's helped. On the flip side, Andrew Dickinson has been a wizard at finding ways to get track position, making the right calls at the right time. Ty Dillon, where's the old Ty? I know he pit. I guess we're not good. But, he got himself into the top 10 there. Stage 1 finished well. I think there's a real difference in strategy between the two crew chiefs, and I don't think AJ's got the better crew chief when it comes to that sort of thing.
No,
obviously they're still getting good results. They still have speed. Like, I'm not criticizing that aspect of it, but their in-race decision-making for when to pit, when not to pit, 2 tires, 4 tires, etc., really seem to be lacking here. Trent seems to play it very cautiously more often than not.
So here's the question. Are they going to throw the yellow for rain again, or are they going to make the cars go down pit road? Like the very beginning of the race, I kind of get. But if we're 15 laps into the final stage and it starts raining, fuck that. There should be no yellow. That should be you get down pit road at your desire and do it. And if you're not willing to do that, pull the fucking rain tires off the car and stop running in the rain.
I think they will throw the yellow simply because NASCAR has their phase of this is a wet track, this is a dry track. And when they decide to go switch the phase from dry to wet, I think they're going to throw that caution.
I know many of our SVG followers don't have kind things to say about SVG's crew chief. And I will say this is one of those circumstances, like SVG doesn't make the call to stay out there. Where if it doesn't rain, this is another bad call by the crew chief.
Could be his head. Could be his job if they blow this. Yeah, but I mean, also, point I want to make, and we're not even halfway through this race yet. Like,
rain's here.
There's a lot of racing left to go, and the rain's coming. Right. I do think
it just started raining.
Sprinkles, we're already starting to see some sprinkles. Yeah. Oh, by the way, your guy Bowman is running P3 there. That's good for the fantasy team. Oh, we're pitting. I just don't understand the concept, especially if they take slicks.
It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. They've obviously the Kyle Busch incident early on really put them behind the 8 ball, and you can see the splitter damage there. That it's significant. But you're not doing yourself any favors.
No, I do not understand, because now they're going to restart 30s again, and they're putting on slicks.
SVG did not pit, so clearly they're hoping the rain picks up and they can switch for rain tires as everyone else. But if the rain doesn't pick up and it's just going to be spitting, this is likely the end of the race for them.
Race losing strategy for sure.
I appreciate the gamble, but at the same time,
got
the second best car on track and probably the best driver on track. Taking it out of his hands like that doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Not necessary. Yeah. Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree, Sean. This is an unnecessary risk. Like I'm listening to Letarte here on the broadcast saying, "I respect the risk. It's a good gamble to play," but like they didn't need to gamble. I don't think. Come down,
No, they were right
reset.
there and catching Ty Gibbs. Like,
They're probably yeah. And if it rained, then you come in and put the wets on, and you fight for your position from wherever, second or third. But if this doesn't pay off, he's going to go back pretty far because he's off cycle. I still think, no matter what here, there's got to be at least one, for sure, one more pit stop, maybe even two for him. I'm not sure where they are fuel wise, but we'll see. Well, I guess that's one thing I love about road course racing, though. Now we've got 2 or 3 different strategies, and we're sitting here. It doesn't seem like the right one, but maybe it is. That is one thing I really respect and enjoy about this sort of style of racing, because somebody's going to get it right, and we're going to find out who.
yeah, yeah, it's spitting, but like the sky doesn't look anywhere close to as dark as it was. I don't know if they'll ever get to a point where we need rain tires again. For SVG's sake, I hope they do. As we talked about, that's likely the race. That being said, if it starts to rain just a little bit harder, and I'm watching one of the in-car cams now, and I'm not even seeing raindrops at the moment. Yeah, I just don't know, man. Like, there could be carnage on this restart even without rain, but this, you know. Well, the best things that can happen for
No
AJ
rain.
is either
He'll go to lap 62. Who are you listening to there? I can hear somebody.
that's AJ's in-car cam. They're going back and forth for in-car scanner. They just told him the splitter's damaged. That's embarrassing. Sorry, it just is.
That is the. Yeah, that's communication 101, right? Like, he's been racing the car a certain way this whole race, thinking he had a good splitter. That explains why maybe he got tight a few times.
He's like, no wonder I have no speed down the straightaway.
No splitter and a parachute on the rear end. Like, oh my God, it's just unbelievable that he was able to get himself up to 18th naturally.
AJ needs some Rex and rain, both really. And SVG needs rain. You know, if it doesn't rain for either of these guys, it's not great. And to John's comment here, maybe Minto Xace, or I don't know how he says his name, was right about the crew chief. It's hard. He's a very passionate SVG fan, which I respect. I don't disagree with his takes about the crew chief. This guy did nothing with Zane Smith last year, and he's been given a whole lot of leash. I would have been switching. I think Squid still with Suarez. I would have been switching Squid to SVG, and especially in a contract year.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not like Suarez is performing well with Squid, so.
It looks very dry out there to me. I don't see it gonna rain, but I'm not a weather guy. I'm a bus driver.
I'll say it doesn't take long for a rain cell to push in. Just because we don't see it doesn't mean it's not looming 10, 15 miles out. But this will be interesting. There's about 3 different strategies here, and I truly don't know what the right one is.
That is a guy SVG does not want to see in front of him on fresher tires.
Nope. Because that could be night real quick.
I do believe SVG is a better road racer than Christopher Bell, and he's going to fight him hard. But man, any Joe Gibbs car on fresh tires versus old tires, you're in trouble. And I do believe Bell's on fresh tires. I could be wrong.
Actually, you know what? I don't think Bell is. I think Bell and SVG are on the same strategy there. Ross Chastain going backwards.
You're right. I'm looking at it. Same tires. SVG had that lead pretty locked up into turn 1, and then he missed the corner. That's the old tires.
Yeah, he absolutely. Yep. You know, that's a good point. That is the old tires. Had he had fresh tires, that grip would have been there for him. And that's honestly a little bit of rookie. I don't want to say rookie mistake, but that's just not fully understanding the difference in grip between new and old tires here in NASCAR.
Keselowski just punted Stenhouse.
He sure did. Oh.
Not sure why that wasn't a yellow. That was in the racing lane, and there was guys behind him.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. That should have been a full course yellow.
It honestly disgusts me. Reminds me of the NBA. How the fuck is that not a yellow?
That's
wake the fuck up.
I mean, there's nobody back there. I mean, at that point, I get it because there's nobody within a minute of them, but the initial spin should have been a yellow.
Yeah, there were still 10 cars that passed him. Pardon my language, too, but I get a little excited. Sorry if anyone doesn't like the swearing. I try to keep it down, but you just get so invested. And I hate when you get guys like AJ and SVG who should be running for the win. Obviously, SVG is right there, obviously. But when you have bad calls or mistakes by other people, take them out. Aggressive move by SVG. That was well done.
Yeah. I love the aggression here. The aggression throughout the field is picking up for sure.
AJ's up to P22. I think he restarted P28.
Yep, that's a little bit better here this run, but I'm telling you can't get around the 21 there of Josh Berry, and it's getting very frustrating.
Sky's getting a little darker.
What'd they say that if the no rain by lap 62, we're going to see SVG come down pit road. So his time is running low here. They got 9 laps before that point.
Do we know how many laps they can run on fuel here? Like, are the guys that pit at the end of stage 2 good or no?
Probably not.
I imagine they're not. I imagine they're just short. And like just short from even being able to make it while saving. My guess is a pit stop's guaranteed for everybody.
Yeah, difference is length of pit stop. How much fuel do you need on your pit stop? But, if they get to lap 62, right? Let's assume that's the goal here for SVG, that problem in the window to get it to the end, but probably just barely. But that does mean there's going to be he's going to have to get that tank completely full. It's going to cost him some time to do that. Whereas cars like AJ and others who pitted at the stage break probably 2 or 3 seconds less of fuel. Now, with so much gap between first, it's not a big deal, but certainly mention to here.
Ty Gibbs is the fastest car on track right now, but he's a few spots back.
Oh, Hocevar just went for a little loop-de-loop. Oh, the 11 car, Ryan Truex, is having a bad day. And what are we saying? Brock says heavy rain, 15 minutes.
I'd be watching a radar, and if it looks absolutely like there's no way the rain's going to miss, I'd come in slightly early and try to be the first car to rain tires is going to have a huge advantage. As long as it's not too early and you burn them up on the dry track.
Yeah, that's the risk you take. Doesn't take long. Also, I know we're sitting here frustrated by AJ and not going forward, but there is significant damage on there. They showed during the side-by-side commercial of him going down the straightaway, and the whole rear end is jacked up, even in the game as much as here. But yeah, I out of the rain because it was clear. Yeah, it's breaking up. That's the one thing about being in a mountain. Very easy to go around.
Ty Dillon's having a great day.
$10 points to Ty Dillon for like he's just been steady. I know he's right now, but like just along top 10 there, stage 1, top 10 most of stage 2. Like truly not, I was not expecting that level of performance from him. And I sit here and I just think, man, if Ty Dillon's got that much pace in his car, you know, where AJ could damage, but alas, here we are.
Well, that was AJ's best lap in a very long time. P3.
Poor Ty Dillon is just getting abused by every.
Never really realized it, but that turn 1, that 1, 2, 3 section on this track is almost identical to the Indy Road Course.
It's arrow through there, honestly, 1, 2, and 3.
If I'm AJ, the way that people are racing right now, I just start fucking moving people.
Yeah, and he's still playing it very conservatively. Like he 2 car, and he could have gone a little 3 wide action with the 23 and the 22, and he backed it off so early. But you know, now he's trying to be in a dogfight with the 23 down the front stretch, and he just doesn't have the car to do anything on this long front straightaway, and he's just cooked. Now he's not. I agree. His aggression needs to be ramped up tenfold at this point because he does not have the speed to do it naturally, unfortunately.
SVG's lead is almost 3 seconds, but he's got a pit soon, people, and then he's going to have to drive through traffic to make his way back up.
Yep. And I know the way they're racing, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a caution soon, but at this point, again, one thing I've been very impressed by, a lot of beating and a lot of banging, and yet here they all are just figuring out a way to keep going forward. This has been a very fun race to watch. Oh, God. Ooh. God damn. The 23 and the 22 are dicking around so hard. Just damn near TJ. It's going to cost them 2 spots. Oop, I'm seeing some sprinkles on AJ's windshield here.
As always, everyone, like, comment. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. You can always send in a super chat to support the channel. Really appreciate everyone's support. The goal is to continue to pump out content as much as we have recently. Most of the times it'll be Ryan and I, but sometimes we don't have the availability to get together. So we do the best with what we got. YouTube Shorts is also one thing we're starting to utilize. And just really appreciate everyone who tunes in, whether you're pro SVG, pro AJ, pro Kaulig, pro NASCAR. We appreciate each and every one of you.
Absolutely. Truly, thank you for everybody hanging out with us today as well. This today, all week, all year. We appreciate. And I'm sorry I haven't said a lot, but I've been engrossed by the racing here in this mid pack. These guys are just beating each other here, and I just am mesmerized by this.
See, here's where SVG's in trouble. Is there's some sprinkles, right? He's about to have to pit. Like, there's no doubt about it. If you go to rain tires and it doesn't rain, you can be the best road course racer on the planet. You're going to get flown by. And if they pit and they don't put rain tires on and it does
I'll be
rain,
honest with you, Sean. I don't think they can go to the rain tires until NASCAR tells them to.
Really?
So
I don't think it's that.
that's also detrimental. I don't think. Yeah, I don't think.
No, I don't think that's right, because AJ was. If you look, even go back on the Kaulig Twitter, AJ was talking about whether they should put rain tires on or not at the end of the stage, and AJ said no, it's just sprinkling. We can't put rain tires on yet. Kaulig, I believe has it posted on their Twitter. I could be wrong. Oh, yeah. So AJ will pit here at stage break. Teams deciding whether they should take dry or wets after a few sprinkles. Bell's putting dries on. If I'm teams that pitted at the stage break, I'm staying out as long as I possibly can. Because if when I pit, it ends up being wets because of rain. I don't know, though. I don't have a radar for exactly where they are.
Everybody's coming back down. No, I agree with you. You stay out as long as you can. At this, the one benefit that these mid-pack cars have in particular, they can definitely go probably under 20 laps before having to pit. And if the rain does show up between now and then, that's beneficial to them.
For the record, at one point, Ty Gibbs was 8.5 seconds back. He's now 5.5. AJ is up to 17th.
Cars pitting, I'm assuming. Like 2 passes here in the stadium. Gibbs is hunting. Gibbs is in the best position, in my opinion, here in this race at this point.
Knocking off a couple tenths every lap.
But once they equalize tires here, because they are going to both be pitting, I'm assuming, within the next handful of laps, the fresh tires for both drivers. Right now, Ty's got significant, which I believe is one of the main reasons he's gaining as much as he is. So we'll see how that plays out here.
I'm Ty. I don't think.
No doubt he's fast pit. All right, here we go. Stakes.
Slow
No
right
pit road
front.
speeding.
Slow
No
left
issues with the
front.
tires. Got to be smooth.
He got hung up on the left front. Looked like they had a hard time getting the tire off. 15, almost 16-second pit stop.
It's all fuel though. They had to wait on fuel. And honestly, I don't think any of them is going to have super fast pit stops going the reverse direction today. So
they had to wait on it.
I understand, Sean, but they're going the wrong way on these pit stops. Nobody's going to have super fast pit stops.
Damaged car or not, AJ's just put the crossover on Briscoe.
Yeah, it's very nicely done. Briscoe's got some shit tires. He's struggling. All right. Well, this is money time.
Osabar's around. I think we might have a caution. Oh, shit. I think Chastain almost T-boned him. What are we doing here? That's got to be a yellow, right? I can't tell because it's there. That's the yellow.
There's got to be a yellow.
It is. It is. But holy fuck! Like I might not be a big Hocevar guy with some of his actions, but they put him in an awful fucking spot there. He almost got tattooed. Driver's side too.
Well, a loose wheel is a wheel that's really destructive to the day.
I'm telling you that left front.
The fact that he's pit.
How many cars do we think have made the pit stop so far? Maybe 10, 11? I would seriously not even.
Not a ton, maybe 10. Yeah, maybe a third of the field.
If I'm SVG, I pit again. Don't put yourself in AJ's shoes in Coda. No. You have a shot to win. You are the first or second quickest car on track. The last thing you want is going to the restart now with everybody on the same fuel and tires, and you have a loose wheel and your day is over. Kingpin, it honestly depends. If he has a loose wheel.
Brutal decision.
Oh, AJ? Honestly, the only thing that's going to help AJ at this point is a lot of wrecking.
He'll need less fuel.
AJ's good on fuel for a while. He can probably go till about 10 to go, 15 to go without pitting if he didn't want to pit, but he doesn't have the pace to stay in front of them, so you might as well pit. That being said, he had enough pace to cross over a Gibbs car and beat it. So I don't know. I haven't been paying attention.
He doesn't have the pace for a top 5. He probably doesn't even have a pace for a top 10, but his car is not horrendous. Like, he could hold off a good chunk of this field, but his benefit here is that he needs less fuel because his tank was full at the end of the stage. So hoping his pit stop is a little quicker and he can maybe gain a spot or two that way.
Still 35 to go. I don't think we're at a point where it's going to get crazy yet, but honestly, this is about the point it got crazy in yesterday's race. So
I think this is one of the situations where you have to assume this is the last caution and you have to try to get as much as you can, which then of course will lead to more cautions and restarts. But I do think the aggression is going to ramp up pretty significantly here.
If I'm Ty Dillon, I'm driving through, guys, at this point. He has had an amazing race for a guy that's not good at road course racing and been treated like absolute shit.
Yeah. People have just looked at that and saw, oh, it's the 10 car. We can beat him up. And we're going to abuse him. And I agree. Time to not be nice. Kingpin, I think top 15 is definitely in the cards. Obviously, I think we had higher expectations than that, but I definitely think he's good enough for a top 15. Obviously, he's got to avoid the carnage, get some good restarts, but I do think his car is good enough for a top 15.
SVG will start. Well, I shouldn't say because Chris Bell could still pit again, but right now Bell's right behind him. Bell's got enough fuel to make it. SVG would be on 7 or 8 lap fresher tires than Bell. And then Gibbs is obviously going to have to pit. We are 1 subscriber away from 900. So if someone who is watching right now hasn't subscribed, wants to click subscribe, you would help us out a great deal. It'd be greatly appreciated. I am pulling for an SVG win here. That caution maybe improved their situation a little from where it was prior. But like everyone's kind of everywhere, right? Because you're mid-pit cycle as that happens. Do we still got you, Ryan? I think we might have lost Ryan for a moment. John says it's nerve-wracking. Yeah, it is. It's no real stress on me here. AJ would need a miracle to win at this point. Not unheard of. And he has won under these circumstances before. But, I'm looking at that 88 car who probably deserves to win, him or the 54. And the 88 car did not make a good call at the end of stage 2. And the 54 didn't get to pit road before the caution came out. So kind of evens the playing field a bit here. But don't count out the 20 who's right behind the 84. I don't think it's going to rain. I don't have a radar, but it doesn't look like there's any downpour that's close in terms of the way the sky looks. SVG was reporting his wheel might be loose. They clearly went back and looked at the data and don't think it is, but ultimately, AJ heard the same thing at COTA and they were wrong. So you got to hope for the best at this point.
And we saw how quickly you fall through the field when it goes completely sideways that.
You'll know quickly.
Yep. SVG is the first one to stay out, so he will retake the lead.
How bad was that SVG pit stop under green, which isn't a big deal now? About 5 seconds slower than some of the cars that are on pit road right now.
It looks like AJ and the team gained a couple spots.
Ooh, small win. Now you need some carnage.
We got out ahead of Ty Dillon. Got out ahead of Brad Keselowski. Got out ahead of Joey Logano.
SVG thinks something's wrong. He's radioed them twice now saying it. I'll say one thing for all the guys and Minto, wherever he is, obviously not in this stream with us. If the wheel is loose and they didn't listen to their driver, much like Kaulig didn't listen to AJ, you got more fire to throw at the guy. Trust your driver. Because had SVG pitted here, he restarts 10th, 12th, still in position to win the race, still has a shot. There's 30 plus laps to go. Not doing it here could cost him the race. I hope that everything's on and he's in his own head.
Yeah, because he still would have started ahead of Ty Gibbs, right? So that's really your big competition. Yes, Chris Bell for sure, but he would have easily been able to drive through everybody else.
You never want to take the race away from the driver, especially when he's earned the race. Like when you're talking about what's happened this race, obviously the lap 3 incident took out a bunch of good cars. AJ Larson, Kyle Busch. Watch, they're showing it. Watch this front. Oh, I tell you what, I don't have a good feeling about that. I'm hoping. Even if it hurts AJ in points, SVG or Ty Gibbs deserves to win this race. And if it doesn't happen, I hope it's just because they get beat and not because of a fucking pit crew error.
Ooh, Briscoe just smoked the tire barrier there.
Yeah, AJ just lost several spots from that. Just a fucking nightmare of a race for the 16.
According to this, honestly, on the contrary, the onboard said he gained 2 spots. He's up to 17th.
I'd be worried about that 48 car. I mean, I'm not. I have him in my fantasy pool, but
yeah,
don't sleep on Alex Bowman on a road course.
No, absolutely not. He won Chicago last year, and he did it by merit. Yes, the 88 was out, but he was the best car there at the end of the race in Chicagoland. So.
This thing's a marathon, man. There's still 30 laps to go around this place. That's a long time.
Yeah. Some cars got really lucky by pitting before the yellow, and it really flipped their position. Cole Custer in 5th, Nemechek in 4th. Even the 17 cars, that who they got really lucky. So, yeah,
Briscoe,
that's how
too.
you get good cars like that up in the top 5.
Briscoe made a good mistake.
Yeah, Briscoe got lucky too. So.
Can be a game of luck sometimes, depending on when you pit. Man, that deck lid being raised so high on the 16 reminds me of the car of
it's
tomorrow.
It's crazy, right? Like it's. Oh, I would have Hendrick right there if I was AJ. Fuck that guy. Just took him all the way down to the grass. It's Sunday drive now for a little bit. Yeah, where's Ty Gibbs is in 9th. So this is the downside.
Yeah, caution was bad.
I know you said you suggested pitting, but if you pit, you're running 9th, 10th, right? He's 5 seconds back. Obviously he's got a good car. A car that can gain 5 seconds and 8 spots. Probably not. So that's track position is king. It always is king. It will always be king. And you can be the best in the world, But when you get logged back in traffic, it just makes it so much harder. I'm minding their P's and Q's here. Little
That should have been a caution. I don't know where it is.
Chastain.
How do you not throw the yellow when a car gets owned? Not that SVG needs to see a yellow right now, but like that NASCAR's so fucking stupid.
Yeah, they just don't know what they want to be on these road courses. Let them run in the rain, let them not run in the rain. Full course yellow, local yellow. Like, it's just completely inconsistent.
That's in SVG's favor, though. If that's the way they're going to call the rest of this race, SVG's in good position to win this thing.
Yeah, I agree. Oops, somebody's sideways. They just passed. AJ got around somebody that was sideways. I didn't see him until he was right by him. So, I mean, that's another scary situation here.
What the fuck? This is why you throw the... You're going to see it. Oh, my God.
I don't understand that.
Like...
I don't understand why that...
NASCAR, wake the fuck up. Again, at this point, I would prefer SVG win this race. But, like...
That's
unbelievable.
Dangerous. That is dangerous. I am mind blown.
What's going to happen is they're going to throw a yellow on something fucking stupid, and it's going to cost the 88. AJ is running top 10 lap times. 9th, 10th area, but yeah.
I just wish we had a crew chief that would have been ballsy with the strategy. Because again, it's all track position. Yes, the car is damaged, but if they would have let him restart 5th, I guarantee you he'd still be holding comfortably in the top 10 right now.
$25 to go.
Hey, still a quarter of this race to go. No, John, not early, not all. Crack one. $25 laps. We probably got about an hour left in this race. Hour victory lane. Tell you what, I don't know if you guys can see it. I got a little thing of blends here, which is a nice bourbon. AJ wins a race, so got it sitting here on my desk.
A few raindrops showed up on AJ's window.
Missed it. Although it is,
you can see that it's not
starting to
again.
sprinkle. I see condensation on.
Anyone have a look at an accurate
minor
radar?
It's definitely starting to
Bowman's been better than SVG.
be a little bit more consistent. Chastain is definitely doing Trackhouse a salad by being chat and being difficult to pass.
Starting to rain a bit more. Not enough to change tires yet. Seems the worst on the front stretch. Sorry, that wasn't the front stretch. That was before the stadium section. Man, how awesome would it be to be in those seats? It's such a unique view.
I would like to be. That is such a cool view. Yeah. Oh, they just heard AJ say be ready. I think they might be coming or considering coming for the wets.
At this point, you got nothing to lose. It's going to be a bad points day. If you can be the first one on wets, you got a shot.
I just
That
got
being
Cindric.
said,
Good
there's
news
less
there.
rain
Clean.
on it.
P15. Yeah, I don't think they're going to pit just yet. I just think they're getting ready just in case. But I do tend to agree that you do want to be on the wet weathers if you know there's more coming.
Windshield looks way more dry now than it did 2 laps ago. So
And Bowman's second and 1.7 back. So the lead is holding steady for Shane up there. Just no mistakes here. It might not be raining a lot, but all it takes is one little wet spot on the course and things can get really hairy really fast. So
I could be wrong, and I don't want to jinx it, but this feels like the kind of race that might go green the rest of the way, which would be very good for the 88 because you get a caution at this point, and you are going to have a bunch of guys driving like idiots on restarts, and it'll be caution breeding caution.
yeah, everybody's kind of spaced out now. There was a lot of beating and banging in that mid pack, but things have kind of started to gap a bit. So that's good for green runs, but all it takes is one person to win.
It's going to have to be something like that, considering what they didn't throw cautions for.
Dude, I am still flabbergasted over that one. Hey. By the way, I don't know what the hell. All of a sudden, he's 34th, one lap down, which is super
Yeah, under
disheartening
green.
considering how well he ran in this race.
Yeah, I don't blame him. Unfortunately, it's another one of those races where he ran really good and isn't going to get a finish.
No, and yet again, he kind of got abused on that restart. Guessing he cut a tire. Don't know for sure, but I'm assuming he had some sort of tire issue there. Yeah, Lynn, that's
SVG
a little bit of
seconds
weird
out.
throwback to both Chicago races. Yeah, SVG's starting to pull away just ever so slightly here.
Still about half an hour to go in the race. Lots of time for something to happen, but if it stays green, that 88 machine looks like it should take it. Not seeing raindrops anymore either.
No, no. Looks clean for now. Didn't realize just listening to the broadcast here that Travis Mack, who was the crew chief on that 16 car last year, is now with John Hunter Nemechek. And I've definitely seen an uptick in performance on that car. So good little pairing there.
Everything's pretty spread out at the moment.
Yeah, I say they must be bored if they're talking about Kyle Larson and his fastest lap. Not a whole lot to cover from the broadcast side either at the moment. Tell you what, those two guys keep horsing around for a second.
Yeah, them horsing around. His SVG's literally opened up his lead 2 more seconds because of it. It's
Yep.
SVG.
2 seconds to 4 seconds in
SVG's
one
race to
lap.
lose as long as there's no caution. And I think it's going to have to be something pretty bad for the caution.
I agree, Sean. Looks like Bowman finally conceded there. But I say now there's a little bit of sunlight starting to pop through a little bit. It's going to change the track a little bit, add some temp.
Kudos to SVG in a timely caution because I really thought his crew chief put him in a bad spot a couple of times today, and he's put the team on his back and right now in position to win.
Well, I will say this. One thing we know about road courses in general over the years, fewer the pit stops, the better, right? Like you want to play the strategy like you're running the race backwards. And SVG basically avoided one extra pit stop by staying out when they did, pitting when they did. Yeah, we thought it was a bad call, but honestly, as we sit here and look at it, it's played out absolutely perfectly for them. So, honestly, I'm going to take back my criticism of the crew chief at that moment and say they made the right call. They held that track position, which is clearly most important thing to do because Ty Gibbs is still struggling and frankly falling backwards now. So it's just not working out for him after pitting the way they did. Also, if there is a caution,
The other caution.
the car I'm most worried about for SVG is Chase Elliott. I think Chase Elliott's got it. He's the only car I think actually in the ballpark right now with SVG. So as long as this goes green, it should be good for SVG here. But it is not over until it's over. 12 laps, 11 laps is a long way to go. And while it doesn't look like a caution is going to come, if a caution comes, the whole thing changes here. A lot of aggressive restarts. So lean and green is what we want to see for sure. Yeah, I'm very surprised to see some of these cars running mid pack. You know, the Logano car was really fast early, right there with AJ. Daniel Suarez, who won yesterday, his teammates are running competitively in the top, obviously, 8, both of those guys. I mean, Tyler Reddick, no show all weekend. Like crazy, some of the cars that are running not so well this weekend. And yeah, Len, I agree. I saw that purple car sideways, and I thought it was SVG for that second. Nice move by AJ there to get around Eric Jones. Hocevar and Stenhouse going for more spins. That's funny.
Aggression starting to pick up, but I just think the field's too spread out. You're gonna have someone get stuck to get a yellow. SVG just needs to
Agreed.
keep. If the race ends the way it is, AJ be about 50 back from the cut line, but gain 2 spots. Could be worse. Still makeable in points. Not the weekend you wanted, though.
I mean, I just can't even be mad about it. Unfortunately, they were obviously SVG is not exactly what we thought and expected he would do this weekend, and AJ, while running admirably, just his chances for anything worthwhile went out the drain on lap 4. And when he gets out of that race car and he sees how badly fucked up both the front end and back end of that car is, I think he's going to be shocked that he has managed to run as well as he has here. Although, oh man, these two guys fighting it out hard.
I was going to say, does Chastain realize his teammate is winning this race at the moment?
Clearly not, because he is driving very recklessly through here.
Yeah, he's so fucking selfish.
Oof. Push him.
At this point, Chastain's literally trying to wreck the guy with his teammate in the lead.
Yes, he is.
And I think you and I have firsthand experience just how not good of a teammate Ross Chastain is.
Ross Chastain is an amazing race car driver. Ross Chastain only cares about Ross Chastain. But I think as we run down these laps here on this very long run, I mean, we're 20 plus laps into this run now. We're definitely starting to see some cars fall off handling wise. And I think that's kind of why we're seeing some of this added aggression from some of the drivers. Is some cars are doing all right and some cars are fading, and those cars that are fading are kind of holding everybody up.
Guy's leading by 9 seconds. Leave him the fuck alone.
Yeah, I don't understand the. Yeah, don't mess with a driver in his rhythm. Seriously, unless you absolutely need to save fuel to make it to the end. Shut up.
SVG has
Let your
that
guy
much
do.
faster than AJ has in the past. AJ would have yelled at you and told you to shut the fuck up.
Oh, dog decided to come visit me here the last few laps of the race. I'm surprised they haven't showed this camera angle before or at all today, because it is really cool to watch SVG shift and brake.
That didn't look like he was using his classic heel toe. That looked very traditional.
Yep. Well, we're 5 laps away. Don't want to celebrate too early. But this is why SVG is in a Trackhouse Cup car. I know he's had his struggles this year, and I know we've talked about it ad nauseum. But this right here, absolutely dominating performance on this road course. Handful of laps away from winning this thing, locking him into the playoffs. That is money to the team, money to the organization, to sponsors. This is what we came for.
We've been talking about it for like 2 weeks now. It's made no fucking sense. I mean, honestly, with what Zilish did yesterday, dominant speed, but wrecked himself and 13 other cars in the field. And there's no reason. I think you made the point in a video why Connor, he's so young, give him another year. If you're that worried about you losing Suarez, make Zilish run one more year.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, any of these young drivers, Ty Gibbs should have stayed in the Xfinity Series another couple years. I mean, Noah Gragson should have as well. Zane Smith went, all of these young guys are getting called up too early, and I understand the methodology, the financials, why they're doing it, why it's happening. You want to make sure you have the next big thing in your stable and all those fun things, but these drivers don't really start to really figure this thing out until you're like truly probably 26, 28 time age bracket is when the drivers really make that leap. There's nothing wrong with keeping him in the Xfinity series. I think he should stay in the Xfinity series, but I'm sure they are so worried that if they don't promote him, some other team will, and they would, hire him out from under you. And that's what they don't want. And that's why some of these guys get rushed. Oh, AJ just got by Chastain there. 13th.
You only got to get through about 1 3/4 more laps, and there'll be no yellow.
Yeah, 15-second lead now. That is incredible. Oh, Dale Jr. is giving you guys shout outs there for turning it on and watching SVG early in the day. So, truly, guys, everybody that's been with us from the start of this race, I know it's quite early for you, and certainly appreciate you getting on and watching this with us. And we're only a couple laps away from getting to celebrate. So, well worth it for you.
Even I'm nervous. I'm not nervous in terms of the lead. I mean, he's blowing the doors out of everyone. I'm nervous about someone doing something stupid.
Well, he's less than a lap away from taking the white. So, all right, white flag. Here we go.
Now it is all him. The only thing that can cost him the race is a horrible mistake. Take it home. Take
Where
it
is
in
the flag stand anyway? There it is. Okay.
It's very early on the front stretch. You should know. We've raced on this track enough.
I know, but they moved it for NASCAR. It's
did they?
It's yes.
Oh.
It is halfway down the straightaway.
Saw someone in the chat say like SVG is going to get it on ovals. I don't think SVG's ever going to win on an oval without a lot of luck or a super speedway, but he doesn't have to. He just needs to not be running in the 30s. If he can get up and do what he's done the past month and be challenging for top 20s and allow the road courses being his bread and butter, he'll be in NASCAR for the next half a decade to a decade. Like, yep. That's all he has. AJ Allmendinger has made a career off that. And this is a mega impressive run. And I'm thrilled. I love when the right guy wins who's supposed to win and he doesn't get screwed over by garbage. And we're a few turns away here.
From complete domination.
Because I'm Maybe stay away from Cody Ware, SVG.
No kidding.
Yeah.
All right, last time through the stadium for me here, so about to come down of turn 13, 14 through 15. Down the front straightaway, here he comes. So SVG, second career win, baby. Here we go. Domination, 17.2 seconds. Beautiful.
Stick that in your pipe and smoke it, Jordan Bianchi. Hell of a race.
Hella of a race. And here we go. And here comes
we were
AJ.
talking about sponsorship possibly being an issue. Well, Safety Culture is a sponsor from SVG's home. If they're willing to step up and do more races for performances like this, that can soften the blow if he loses some WeatherTech and Red Bull to Connor. So winning cures everything more often than not, unlike this fucking team who never gets it done. But yeah, congratulations, SVG. Congratulations to the SVG diehards that follow our channel. We promised you we would continue SVG coverage this year, despite him no longer being involved with Kaulig. He's the exact type of racer that I like to cheer for. Someone who isn't in the NASCAR system, someone who brings his racecraft over, can show up the oval guys. This was well deserved. This was I think the first two stages you could argue Ty Dillon was the car, or Ty Dillon, yeah. Ty Gibbs had the best car. But
yeah, I mean, even stage one, he was better, I think. Stage two, I think he was just conserving a little bit. Ty Gibbs was right there for sure, but
stage
absolute domination.
I still personally don't like the crew chief call. They got lucky with another caution that followed it up. And thankfully, no rain. It's funny because everybody on Twitter is like, rain's coming, rain's coming, rain's coming. Even in the chat, rain's coming. And it never really did come. And that's fantastic because that guy deserved this win. He qualifies for the playoffs unless, you get 17 plus winners, then he'd probably be the guy out. But that's unlikely to happen. Well deserved. That's badass. Love it. I meant to print screen that one. I wanted to save that image.
Ooh, that's a cool shot. I love that drone. Straight overhead.
Congratulations to everybody. You guys deserve this. You're diehards. You really support the channel. And I'm thrilled that we didn't get to like the second or last road course race where he had to win to make the playoffs. I think it's right to question how far he can go in the playoffs, but it's not about that. Ryan and I have been saying you qualify for the playoffs. It's more exposure for you, your team. It's more money. Your charter value goes up. This is fantastic.
Just making the playoffs is a huge deal.
AJ's checking the car and shaking his head at the splitter. Sorry, I know SVG's doing his interview, but I still have the in-car cam up. He goes in front of the car and he bends down and he's looking at it. And he's like, how do you tell the guy that? Come on. 12th place, by the way, for Allmendinger on a torn-up race car. Badass.
Badass. Truly badass.
Big shout out to Lynn, by the way, who deserves all the credit in the world. We created an SVGNation Facebook group that's doing great. And there was one person that really Ryan and I thought should be in charge of that group, and it's Lynn. She's also the very first channel sponsor for us. It's not free to do this stuff. So whenever you guys send in a super chat, it means a lot. If you're interested in becoming a channel sponsor, you can contact us privately and we can talk about it. But Lynn stepped up big. She does a lot of hard work over on that group. If you're an SVG fan, check it out. SVG Nation on Facebook. Really appreciate you, Lynn. Happy that you got the win. And by the way, I know many of you guys and gals over there are up at an obscene time this morning to watch this race. Maybe you're even watching it at work, the finish of it. That's commitment, and I'm thrilled for you. I'm happy for you, and thank you for joining us tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you to everybody that joined us. It's fun. I love doing these live streams. That was a hell of a boot by old SVG to get that rugby ball into this crowd. Love it. But everybody that joined us today, thank you. It's a lot of fun for us to do this, and we can't do it without you guys coming on board and making this fun for us. So thank you for all that as well. And
That's
somehow,
gonna do it. Oh, go ahead.
I was saying somehow it says Bubba Wallace got 12th over us. We got 13th. I don't know how that happened.
I didn't
with
see
AJ.
AJ get passed, but
yeah, I'm not sure,
We'll
but it
see if
doesn't
that
matter
gets
either
correct.
way.
Didn't look like anyone was even close to AJ at the end, but whatever. All right, that's going to do it for us. Like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications to all, share the channel around. It helps. We appreciate you. Have a great week. Celebrate this win. One of the worst tracks in NASCAR is up next week in Pocono. So, and Ryan, thanks for doing this tonight, brother.
Absolutely. It's a lot of fun. We'll talk soon, and I'm sure we'll get a video out as quickly as we can to celebrate this win. So
100%.
be on the lookout for that.
That's all, folks. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.